it's Victoria Wolders, and welcome to another My Kids Locker COVID-19 Ed podcast episode. I am your host, and I'm so excited that you've joined us today. Well, if you're new to our podcast, this is an educational humanitarian podcast serving those children that are in quarantine or in self-isolation. We're hoping today that you'll be able to learn a few things and be able to have less screens, listen, create, and innovate. Well, today we are going to be exploring a brand new story from the Empathy Tales podcast. This story is called The Teddy Bear Troll and the Gem. We're going to be looking at 3 parts. We're going to listen to a quote. We're going to be creating and focusing on being an architect and laying out our materials. And then we're going to innovate and extend our understanding. If you'd like to connect with me at My Kids Locker, I'd love to hear how your creativity is going and your products. Feel free to hashtag My Kids Locker and hashtag COVID-19 Ed. Well, without further ado, we are now moving on to part 1.
To part 1. Are you comfy? Are you cozy? Well, get ready to listen.
Well, here we are in part 1. Listen. So today's quote is straight from our podcast episode story. And this one is from The Teddy Bear Troll and the Gem. Urge adults to look at children for joy, because sometimes children might have more joy than an adult can find in themselves. For those people who are listening right now, joy is something that is extremely important in these times. Trying to find the beauty in the moment. Taking some time today to be able to look at a flower blooming. Taking some time today to feel the warmth of the sun on your face. Take some time today to look at the smile on someone's face. Being mindful and being aware of our surroundings are part about being joyful. This quote comes straight from our empathy tale that we're going to learn from today, and I hope that perhaps you'll take some time today to think about what the word joy really means. Well, we are now moving on to part 2.
Hi everyone, welcome back to part 2 today. We are going to create something amazing, and let's get crafty. Bye.
Well, here we are in part 2, and we're going to be focusing today on the E in our acronym TALE. T standing for tell your understanding. A standing for art and demonstrating your understanding in art. L, which is layout, which is focused on architecture and design. And E, which is express, which means that you get to express your understanding any way you want. Well, today we get to learn about L, layout. So you get to be an architect, a builder, a construction worker, should I say. Well, I'm so excited that you've joined us today, because today we are going to be focusing on the story called The Teddy Bear Troll and the Gem. So a little bit about this story. Did you know that there are tunnels underneath our Oak and Eagle Kingdom? The tunnels are filled with trolls, and these trolls are called water trolls. They come out at night. These trolls roam the land and help us. The teddy bear troll, which is one of our favorite trolls, he finds a beautiful gem that everyone wants. So today, in our empathy tale, I hope that you enjoy this magical story in the Oak and Eagle Kingdom, and you're going to get to find out what happens to our beloved teddy bear troll. Now, while you design your map, I'm going to ask you to do your map. I'm going to ask you to include the teddy bear troll. Now, the teddy bear troll is a character that will come back because he is that jovial, fun little guy who is part of the water troll kingdom, and he he has a really funny way about him. He is quirky. He's a comedian. He loves peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and he's one of those trolls that is just so unique and stands out. And he's very much of a contrast to the water troll king, who tends to be somewhat perceived as grumpy. So today your job is to be a designer and design a map of the story. So you may want to draw 2 maps, because we have the Oak and Eagle Kingdom, and then we also have the Water Troll Kingdom underneath. But you get to decide. You want to use Lego, if you want to use Cheerios, if you want to use stones or leaves or anything, any materials that you want to use, you can build now this story called The Teddy Bear, Troll, and the Gem. Well, without further ado, I'm going to let you listen to the story, The Teddy Bear, Troll, and the Gem. Enjoy.
Once upon a time, in a faraway land in the Oak and Eagle Kingdom, there lived a king in a castle on a beautiful hill. There was green grass all around the beautiful castle. There was a village below. The village had cobblestone streets, and the people who lived in the village were kind and courteous. The king that oversaw the village was caring, passionate, and loving. As the village continued to grow, so did the houses and the number of people. The people in the village knew there were tunnels underneath their village. These tunnels were part of the Water Troll Kingdom and were called the Water Troll Tunnels. These tunnels were dressed in beautiful gems and were home to the Water Trolls. The Water Trolls had a Water Troll King and a Water Troll Queen. At nighttime, the Water Trolls would come up to the land and visit the village and clean up the Oak and Eagle Kingdom's land. They would take pieces of garbage and bring them back to their homes to reuse and build new creations. The Water Trolls were known for their creativity. There was one specific water troll that was notoriously cute and funny. This was the Teddy Bear Troll. He was just such a wonderful troll to be around because people wanted to be around him. He was jolly and loved life. The trolls loved sapphires, diamonds, and opals. They would look for them in their tunnels. He would love eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches instead of looking for gems. He was going along the tunnel that he wasn't familiar with, and all of a sudden, on the top right-hand corner, he saw something gleaming. He reached out his cute little hand and said, "I wonder what that is." So he took his little troll hand, and there he saw the most amazing gem ever. It had different types of colors, and it had so many different angles. Soon, by the light of the candles, there were so many different special parts to this gem he could see. There were some rugged, jagged pieces to the gem. He started to think maybe there might be something wrong with this gem. He chose to shove it in his pocket and kept it to himself. "I'm not going to tell anyone about this," he thought to himself. "I'll research it and find out what gem this is." So later that night, he snuck into the troll library, and he went through all these different books to look for this specific gem. In the corner of this old library, on one dusty shelf, he found a large book called The Gems and the Jewels of the Troll Tunnels. He pulled out the book and found out that there is this one single treasure gem that was the master gem, and in it held virtues. This gem was many different colors, so the dark colors were pockets of negative emotions of hatred, violence, evil, and rage. The other colors that were light colors were pockets of empathy, compassion, hope, kindness, and care. When these colors in the gem were touched by the owner, then those feelings would flow through the individual and then into the world through actions and words. As the troll held on to different parts of the gem, he began to feel the emotions it would bring. He also could see the joy in the others around him. As soon as he started to touch the anger, other people would start getting angry. The teddy bear troll did not know what to do with this special gem. "What should I do with this?" he said to himself. At the time, everyone in the village was happy. The king was happy, the villagers were content. The village was a peaceful and kind place to be above the water troll tunnels. The teddy bear troll decided to keep the gem to himself, and he placed it safely under his bed. One night, the troll decided to bring up the special gem up to the land. He crawled up to the village one evening, and excitement filled his mind because he was hoping he could find some treasure that the humans may have left out during the day. As he was roaming the land and helping his fellow trolls clean the land, he came close to one of the village's castles. In this castle was the king of the village. There was a creek very close to this castle, and as the teddy bear troll wandered to the side of this king's castle, he decided to bring out his beautiful gem. As he brought it out from his pocket, he tripped, and the gem dropped onto some rocks and shattered everywhere. The pieces also landed in the creek, which ran down to the village. Some of the dark pieces of anger fell into the creek. Some of the light pieces fell by the side of the castle and into the creek as well. The shards of the gems gleamed in the light of the full moon. He became concerned that these pieces of these gems may affect other people around him. He wondered if he should gently pick up all the pieces or just leave them. He decided to just leave them. Also, trolls are known for not thinking things through, and because he was the teddy bear troll, he just laughed at the pieces and walked away. So, the teddy bear troll decided to go back to his tunnels without telling anyone. So the next day, the king decided to open his door of his castle in the early morning. He walked to the side of his castle where there was a babbling brook. He saw some sharp shards of gems, and he began to pick them up. He started to feel anger and frustration. He went back to his castle with these gem shards in his hands, some of which cut him. His blood dripping, and he was enraged. He ran back to the castle and slammed the door. Some village children overheard him slamming the door, and they walked up to the hill to the side of the castle. There the children found some bright, beautiful shards of gem. The children picked up blues, pinks, and yellows. The children began to feel happiness and joy. The children only picked up the bright, beautiful colors, and they were able to collect them all. They decided to leave all the dark colored shards. Over the next couple days, the mayor from the village decided to come up and pick up the dark shards because the lighter colors were picked up by all the children. The mayor gave these pieces to his villagers as gifts, and other people came from the village and picked up these different pieces of magical dark gem pieces, not knowing it possessed magic. However, they too only had the dark shards left to pick up. Some of the villagers began to make jewelry and put them in bracelets and necklaces. Some of the dark shards would glow when the villager who was wearing the jewelry became angry. The gem would feed off the anger and become darker and stronger. Over the next week, the villagers' ideas began to change, and their hearts became angry. As for the king, he had taken his dark shards of gem and had placed them on the arms of his throne. So every day he would sit in his throne, his hands would touch the dark glistening gems, and he would feel the rage in him. The children who brought the bright colors found joy, peace, and kindness, and tried to give these pieces to the adults. However, the adults had been given the black shards, and many of them had made jewelry with the pieces. In time, and weeks went by, the king and the villagers began to change. The children urged the adults to take the bright pieces instead, but they chose not to. Down in the water troll tunnels in the water troll kingdom, the teddy bear troll went to the water troll king and the water troll queen to share the news of this master gem. And what happened? The The teddy bear troll loved his villagers, and he did not want to see the bad things happen to his friends. The water troll king heard the story of the master gem and how it got shattered by the king's castle by the creek. The water troll king told the teddy bear troll that he had enough magic to transform the gem into good. The water troll king and the water troll queen did not want anger and frustration to control the village. That night, the water troll king and the teddy bear troll snuck up to the land and went into the castle. The water troll king could feel the dark shards, and they wandered through the large castle into the throne room. There, the king had fallen asleep on the throne. They gently walked up to the throne, and as the king was snoring, the water troll king waved his hand above the arms of the throne. There was magic black smoke that appeared, and the black shards had turned into black hummingbirds. The black hummingbirds flew to the water troll king and landed on his shoulders. The two trolls left the throne room quietly and then walked to the front of the castle. The majestic black hummingbirds then flew off of the water troll king's shoulders and flew to catch the different pieces on the ground. They managed to drop beside the shards, then placed them on their wingtips. The water troll king saw some more shards that were bright colors, which stood for good virtues, and he waved his hand over them. Instantly, the shards turned into colorful hummingbirds. He waved his arms, and the hummingbirds came back to him and landed on his large shoulders. He then whispered to them, "Go into the night and capture all of our master gem shards and place them on your wings, and they will be a testimony of my love for this land. All the villagers who choose to be creative and create jewelry out of shards and make something beautiful will be gifted a gift." So the hummingbirds flew house to house and captured the shards with its wings. The pieces of jewelry that were made transformed into diamond hummingbirds as gifts from the water troll king to the villagers. All of the shards were picked up. However, some of the beautiful colors, ones with the young children, were not, so that these good qualities could perhaps flourish and help villagers in their lives. The water troll king did this on purpose, so that the adults in the village will have hummingbird jewelry. But there will be a few pieces out there that continue to contain empathy, compassion, care in the shards kept by the children. The water troll king called the hummingbirds back as dawn was about to break. The hummingbirds were so beautiful with their colors, looked like a rainbow coming back to the water troll king. The water troll king turned to the teddy bear troll and said, "I am gifting you the most colorful of hummingbirds as your companion. This will be a testimony of your experience with the master gem. Always remember that emotions can be very strong and destructive. Keep this colorful hummingbird to remind you that emotions can build relationships, but can also tear down. Urge humans to look to children for joy and generosity, because sometimes they might still have a piece or two out there. So whenever you see a hummingbird, remember to think about our story, the teddy bear troll and the gem, because we can learn about the importance of emotions, hope, and love through the story." The end.
Hi everyone, it's time to innovate, part 3. Woo.
Well, here we are in part 3, which means to innovate. I hope that you enjoyed our story, and I hope that you were able to do a great job at putting together a design and developed Water Troll Kingdom tunnels, as well as Oak and Eagle Kingdom map. It'd be so cool to see them. So make sure you hashtag MyKidsLocker and hashtag COVID-19ed, because I'd love to be able to see your pictures and your designs. Well, for those that are interested in extending their understanding, we would love to have you do something unique with your map. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring out a piece of paper. And what you're going to do is you're going to now take your physical design and you're going to put it on a piece of paper if you can. And you're also going to draw something called a legend. Now, for those younger listeners, you might need to Google what legend means. But basically what you do is on a map, we have different things that are different symbols that are representing different items. So for example, a house might look like a sketch of a little icon of a house, or a tree might look like a triangle. So what you're going to do is you're going to take different icons, okay? You're going to put them in the bottom right-hand corner of your map. You're going to put a whole bunch of different pictures, and then you're going to put those pictures throughout the map, okay? So you might want to have some roads. You might want to have some houses. If you have a road and it's just a line, then down below in the legend, you're going to put a line, and then you're going to put road. So for some boys and girls, you might need to Google this to have a better understanding of what I'm talking about. But for those that can, definitely do a legend. This is a way for you to be able to develop some mapping skills and be able to translate your design and developed physical map of the story onto a piece of paper. Well, boys and girls, I am going to sign off now. I hope that you will be able to connect with me on my social media somehow, maybe hashtag MyKidsLocker, hashtag COVID-19Ed. I would love to be able to see your artwork and your beauty. If you want to reach out to me at mykidslocker.com, love to be able to connect with you. We have learning educational episode lessons from Monday all the way till Saturday, and I hope that you will join us again. Until next time, less screens, listen, create, and innovate. This is Victoria Wolders signing off from another COVID-19 Ed podcast. Thank you.